Okay, welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here.
Today, we are plunging into some really interesting territory. Something big seems to be stirring.
Definitely. It was sparked by a former U.S. president highlighting a potentially massive shift. One that could, well, genuinely affect all of us.
That's right. We're keyed into a News 18 article from May 31st, 2025.
And it zooms right in on former President Barack Obama's reaction to another piece. This one from Axios.com.
Ah, okay. And that Axios piece was digging into artificial intelligence.
Exactly. Specifically, the rapidly accelerating impact AI is having on jobs.
So this deep dive isn't just about the News 18 article itself then?
No, we're sort of using it as a lens, really.
Good.
A way to look at this core warning about AI and jobs and the different perspectives it's bringing up.
Right. So our mission today is to really unpack these warnings.
Yeah.
The ones presented in these sources about AI speed, its potential impact on the workforce.
Yeah, and understand the specific concerns different figures are raising.
And also look at how the public reaction, or at least how the article portrays it, kind of balances alarm with maybe historical context.
Exactly. And the sources lay out some pretty stark predictions alongside quite differing viewpoints. Definitely worth exploring what they're highlighting.
Let's do it. So the heart of this, the thing that really grabbed Barack Obama's attention and is like the central focus of the News 18 piece. It's a really blunt warning.
It is. It comes from Dario Amodei.
Right, the CEO of Anthropic, one of the big AI players.
That's him. And he delivered this warning in that Axios.com article that Obama then shared.
And the prediction itself is, well, it's kind of hard to ignore.
It really is. Amodei actually puts a number on it. He
Right.
predicts AI could eliminate, get this, half of all entry-level white-collar jobs.
Half. Wow.
Yeah, and within the next 1 to 5 years.
1 to 5 years, that's incredibly fast.
Think about that pace. Potentially half the starting positions in a lot of professional fields just gone in maybe just a couple of years.
That is staggering. And what about the knock-on effect? Did Amodei mention, like, unemployment figures in the article?
He did. The article says he suggested it could push national unemployment rates up to between 10 and 20%.
10 to 20%. That's huge.
What also really stands out, I think, from his comments as reported is his call for transparency, honesty, really.
How so?
He's urging both the AI industry and the government to stop, and this is a quote, sugarcoating what they see coming.
Yeah, that sugarcoating line is powerful. Did he elaborate on that?
He did. He apparently followed it up by saying most people are simply unaware this level of disruption is, imminent.
And they don't believe it.
And they don't really believe it, he says, because it just sounds too extreme.
That highlights a real potential gap, doesn't it, between what the people building the tech see and what the public perceives.
Absolutely.
So how exactly does Amodei describe AI changing the job landscape right now? Is it just, making our software assistants a bit smarter?
Well, according to his perspective in the article, no, it's gone beyond that. He says AI is starting to replace jobs directly.
Replace them, not just assist.
Right. It's not just an efficiency tool for simple tasks anymore, apparently. It's taking on the roles themselves.
And did you point to specific fields where this is starting to happen?
Yes. The article knows he singles out technology, finance, law, and consulting. Areas already feeling this impact, according to him.
Tech, finance, law, consulting.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
and the skied again. That's the key thing he stresses.
Absolutely. He's quoted emphasizing this isn't some distant future problem. It's going to happen, quote, in a small amount of time, as little as a couple of years or less.
Which I guess is precisely what caught Barack Obama's attention.
Exactly. That led to the News 18 article we're looking at. He showed that Axios piece, the one with Amodei's warning.
Right, on his X account.
That's right. And he added his own framing to it.
Oh, what did he say?
Well, his tweet, as the article paraphrases it, connects the AI impact to sort of the current public discourse. He wrote something like, at a time when people are understandably focused on the daily chaos in Washington, these articles describe the rapidly accelerating impact that AI is going to have on jobs, the economy, and how we live.
Ah, so he's basically saying, look, while we're all distracted by the political noise,
Yeah.
this fundamental technological and economic shift is happening at lightning speed underneath it all.
Pretty much. And it's worth noting, as the source does, this isn't actually the first time Obama has raised concerns about AI and jobs.
Oh, really? The article mentioned previous comments.
Yeah, it mentions a comment he apparently made back in April at Hamilton College.
What was just there?
He pointed out that jobs involving routine tasks are particularly vulnerable to AI automation.
Okay, that makes sense. Anything more specific?
He actually offered a really specific example about coding. He suggested advanced AI models could already potentially code better than, and this is his quote, 60%, 70% of coders now.
Wow, 60 or 70%. That gives you a really concrete idea of the type of skilled job that might be affected, according to his view, not just routine stuff.
Exactly, even highly skilled technical roles.
Okay. Now, the News 18 article also brings in a different angle,
Yeah.
a political one. It mentions Steve Bannon's perspective.
Yes, it does. Identifies him as a top official during Trump's first term and host of the War Room podcast.
Right, and he has a specific take on when this AI job impact becomes like a major political thing.
His view, as the article reports it, is that while it's maybe largely ignored now, the impact of AI on jobs will absolutely be a major issue in the 2028 presidential campaign.
Interesting. And does he zero in on like a particular group or type of job he sees as most at risk?
He does. He's quoted expressing concern about how administrative, managerial, and tech jobs for people under 30.
Ah, the entry-level cohort again?
Precisely. Those foundational entry-level roles, he says they're going to be, quote, eviscerated.
Eviscerated. That's a very strong word.
It is. It really emphasizes the severity he anticipates for that specific group just entering the workforce.
And the article mentions Trump in relation to this.
It just notes, quite simply, that Trump is currently, quote, silent on this issue. No further analysis or commentary on that point in the source.
Okay. So just stating a reported observation.
Exactly.
So we've got these stark warnings from an AI CEO, amplified by a former president. We have a political strategist framing it as a future campaign issue focusing on young workers.
Yeah.
What about the public? The article touches on online reactions.
It does, and the reactions mentioned show a clear split.
How so?
While some users echoed the alarm, they agreed the issue needs urgent attention, seeing it as a, quote, storm that is coming that needs to be, quote, taken seriously.
Okay, so mirroring the concern.
Right. But then the article also presents counterpoints.
The other side of the coin.
Yeah. Other commenters apparently brought up human resilience, adaptability.
The classic argument, maybe.
Kind of. Highlighting that this narrative, technology displacing jobs,
Right.
It's appeared before.
Like the Industrial Revolution.
Exactly. They specifically referenced the Industrial Revolution, saying humanity managed through it.
So, a historical perspective.
One comment mentioned in the source acknowledged, yes, there will be repercussions from AI,
Okay.
but stressed, quote, the resilience and adaptability of humanity, pointing to our history of adjusting and navigating these kinds of technological challenges.
That's really interesting. That direct tension presented right there in the sources.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have the specific near-term predictions of rapid, significant job loss from people like Amodei, highlighted by Obama.
Right. Very concrete warnings.
Directly contrasted with this historical perspective of human adaptation offered by others online.
It really forces the question, doesn't it? Is this tech shift fundamentally different, in its speed or its scale?
Or is it just the latest wave, maybe a more intense one, but still part of that long history of the workforce changing because of new tools?
So let's try and pull these threads together, based only on what we've got in these sources. What does this mean for you, the listener?
Yeah, thinking about it practically.
We've heard Amodei's specific numbers, that time frame for entry-level white-collar jobs. Obama amplifying that, but also bringing up routine tasks and even coders.
Then Bannon focusing the political frame on under 30s in admin, managerial, tech roles.
And then that public debate. Is it a storm or is it history repeating, something we can adapt to?
So based purely on the information presented in these articles, it kind of prompts you to consider your own situation, right?
Your industry, maybe, or the career paths of younger people you know.
Exactly. How might these specific concerns about entry-level roles, routine tasks, jobs in finance, law, consulting, tech work, how might they impact you or those around you, according to these different perspectives we've just discussed?
It's about taking these different pieces, the warnings, the politics, the historical view, and just seeing how they might map onto the world you navigate.
Based only on the picture painted by these sources, of course.
Right. Understanding the concerns being raised and the different viewpoints presented in the source material.
Yeah.
So, wrapping up, based on these sources, we're kind of left with this core tension, aren't we?
Definitely. These really stark warnings of rapid AI job disruption potentially happening within just a few years,
Versus,
versus that historical capacity for human adaptation that others point to. Resilience.
so maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over, drawing directly from what we read.
If, as some suggest, humanity has always adapted to technological change.
What makes this potential wave of AI displacement feel like a storm to some people, as that comment put it?
Yeah. And could this time truly be different from, say, the Industrial Revolution, like that other commenter mused?
Something to think about, based on the different viewpoints we've explored today from these sources.